Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? Welcome back to the Southern Lighthouse for the completed tour. Doesn't it look good? I'm really happy with how this has turned out. Massive props to Alistair for suggesting this location. It's really cool. Absolutely love it. So I've added a few bits and pieces since last time. Nothing major, nothing particularly complicated, and put some decoration in. So let's have a wander around and look at the finished product, shall we? So, down on the causeway, we'll have a look at the approach here. Just give you a quick idea of where we are for those who don't know. That's the FMS Northern Star there. We've got Warwick Homestead just over the hill there behind it. Boston proper. And that's Poseidon Energy there. Take a swing back round and look south again. Quick look on the map, then you can see. There we go. So, the idea was sort of partially Libertalia inspired and sort of building off the lighthouse there. I really love the slight lean on it, which does make it harder to build on, but it's quite cool. So I've put a little bit of a fence up. I didn't want to wall it off properly, but it needed something. Not overly fond of the heads on spikes there, but it was the right size and looks quite good. Little guard post there. That little bit of junk wall is from Aslam's junk wall pack, funnily enough. And this little guard post is based on something in there as well, but unfortunately I couldn't get the item in that particular mod to cooperate, so I just built my own version. No idea if any traders will actually stop by this, as it's not actually on the beaten track. It's a Workbench Anywhere settlement, but just in case they will, we've got a little spot for them to hang out, crush, whatever. I do realise it's slightly wonky on the back there, but it looks better from the front that way, so can't quite win either way. A little bit more security around there. I wanted to keep it sort of coastal and basic, that's why I used the spikes and stuff like that rather than anything else, and it works better with what's already here. A little shifty around the back here. Just group select to put all of that together, and a little bit of rug glitching as well. So we'll head out over our little bridge. So where the concrete ends is where my building starts. Ignore the little walkway out there I did for the view. There we go. I'll have to get slightly wet feet, but what can we do? I'll have a look through the lighthouse first. That red post is actually one of the Workbench. There's different options available in Workbench Anywhere now, so you can have it look any way you want. It's much less obtrusive that way. There's a few bits and pieces on various levels here. That sink's actually a chemistry station. But because they're not level and it's the rubbish, yeah, let's see what happens when it's not level. Yeah, the rubbish is not possible to scrap, so I've had to sort of work around what's there. So a few workstations up here, just bits and pieces, because the main tower here of the lighthouse is sort of a player home, a place for Minuteman General to strike out from when he's in the south of the map. So I've got the necessary bits and pieces for crafting on the various levels of the lighthouse. That's the only generator we've got in the place, because water and electricity. So up here we're not so bad. And a nice view from the top there. Or as nice as the view's getting Fallout, anyway. This blasted landscape. I'll head up to the upper level. So we've reinforced this a little bit, blocked off some of the light. It's a red rocket door, as it's the best fit I could find. Not quite ideal, but you know. A few metal walls there just to kind of block out some of the light for when he's sleeping up here. A little bit of a workspace. Some of those bits and pieces, like the safe and stuff and the chair, won't scrap, so I've had to leave those in, which is why it looks reasonably trashy, but it's good. The lantern on the floor there is just there so that when it comes up here to sleep at the end of the day, or when the sun goes down, he can turn the generator off, the lights will go off and it won't attract too much attention. He can still see where he's going without plummeting to his death. So, hop downstairs again and we'll take a look around the main building. Well, the main building I've put here. A bit of a side entrance, kind of slow down access to anybody who might want to attack the place. This is a little guard station, place for guards to hang out there. A little bit harder to get into, just so that any attackers who do happen to make it across that bridge, which would be no small feat to say the least, have a hard time getting at the guards standing there. A little bit of storage. A few crafting stations for the settlers. See out over the beach from here as well. Put those metal sheets down just so that the crafting stations don't burn the place down while they're in use. Unfortunately, we can't put the fires out. Useful bits and pieces. Most of this stuff is from Aslam's workshop decoration pack again, which is absolutely brilliant at speeding up the decorating process. I could have done a bit more junk decoration, but it took long enough as it was, and frame rate's a bit iffy in a few places, so probably for the best if I don't. Little seating area with a little bit of storage and stuff dumped in the corner there. Nice view out over the water. Few books. Some nice pictures to look at for chilling out in here. We shall head on upstairs. I thought the stairs in this were going to be a bit of a nightmare, but they turned out quite well and they flow quite nicely, which I'm really happy about. You can sort of see what I've done in some of the building videos earlier in the series. So we've got a little admin area. Looks like somebody's been doing a bit of first aid here as well. And our little roof terrace. A little bit of floating going on, but it's kind of hard to avoid given the surfaces used here. Would have been better with flat roofs perhaps, but it wouldn't look so good from downstairs if it did that. Still, it works. We've got a nice place to chill out. And we'll make our way around to the other side. And we've got the first of our sleeping areas. Pop over those planks. Couple of beds there. I've put the board on the end just to keep the sort of wind and weather off the beds for anybody who's sleeping there. I've done the same thing upstairs as well. I've not put many railings around this place, if any at all, to be honest, just because I kind of like the look of it being a little bit more ramshackle and a little more dangerous. There's a distinct possibility of falling into the irradiated ocean. So yeah, another little barricade for the weather. The beds are crammed in a little tight, but it is what it is. Space is limited. More of the decoration items from Aslam's Workshop decoration pack. Those are quite cool, I like those. Another set of beds. Didn't really think about what I was doing when I put that wall in there in the bed. Bit of a tight squeeze, but we can get through. So the guards we've got here are just placed down from USO. And they're quite handy. You literally just put them in and get a randomised guard, and Minuteman one in this case. You can do various factions and raiders and things like that, and guards in power armor if you so desire as well, which is quite cool. I tried a similar thing with some traders that you can also put down in the mod, but those despawned almost immediately. Some of them literally within seconds, others not so long afterwards. So I think we've got one hanging around that we'll see in just a moment, but what can you do? A water purifier there. It's a bit of an afterthought, that one. But I don't think they'll want to drink irradiated seawater, so a little bit of access there to it if they need to repair it or anything. Now on to our floating area of the settlement. So my one rule got broken a little bit here, in terms that I had to use place anywhere to put the boats down, but it's the only way to do it, so because the game basically thinks they're floating in midair. As it doesn't recognise the water as a surface. It will recognise the seabed, but you have to be sort of sticking up above the surface of the water to actually place anything, so cross the bridges. Most of these went in reasonably easy, which is quite cool. Certainly look the part. A little restaurant. Inside seating area there. So I did have a fellow here preparing food, but clearly he's despawned or teleported to some other place. So I did actually have a look under the boats in the water to see if they disappeared down there, but nope. I have no idea where they've gone. So, down the staircase and round, up this little ladder that took far too long to figure out. A little rooftop seating area. Good little view of the floating area from here. And then back on round. So I had thought of just using the bare deck here, but as it's kind of narrow, and once I've got to put stairs and stuff in there as well, it looks better to just raise the whole floor up. It takes up less space in terms of staircases and things like that. Again, I did have a fella standing here, but he despawned in literally about 5 seconds, so I thought rather than cause more problems, I'll not put him back. There's a little smokehouse for preserving any fish that are caught for sale on this little boat. I'll head around to the front where the little seat for fishing is. I'm just about to see the one remaining trader that I put in place. I'll pop back up here. Don't know how these walkways decided to go in just fine, but technically they're floating. Not that you can really tell, but they were fine with that apparently, so we can go with that. There we go. This guy takes people out on little boat trips and fishing trips and stuff, and seems to be extremely fascinated by a stack of crates. No idea why, but there you go. This is his little house, the one person who doesn't actually live in the main building. Little dining area. That barbecue is actually a functioning cooking station. Not that anybody's actually going to use it, but shortcomings of the mod, unfortunately. Thank you very much, Sony. A few little bits and pieces in his bedroom there. So this platform we're actually standing on, that I've built on here, is actually 2 flatbed trailers, just sort of group selected together with a load of barrels around the outside. See in just a moment. There we go. To make it look like just an ordinary floating platform. Try not to fall in the water. Which works pretty well, I think. You can't really tell that it was once the back of a truck. It looks like it's just a floating platform. I mean, you can if you know what you're looking at, but... And there we go. This is our little coastal lighthouse floating settlement. So, we'll make our way back around, take a quick look over it once more. I like that the chef, assuming he was there, can actually look out and see the rest of the settlement, see who's dining when he's cooking, or at least he could if he was actually there. Little medical boat. So there's supposed to be a doctor in there, but she despawned quite quickly as well. And back through the main house. So, I'm thinking next time we'll probably head on to the slog, but we'll see. Might change my mind by this time next week. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. Hope it gave you a few ideas. If you did enjoy, I'm sure you know what to do by now. If you'd like to keep up with everything on the channel as well, there's social media links down in the description. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And I shall leave you with a little wander through the entrance area here.